or should zoos be banned? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shreyas and I'll be arguing the negative for should zoos be banned.
Are you ready to begin the terms of construction?
Yes, I believe that zoos should be banned. For one, being enclosed harbors risks for the animals. The enclosures are usually open, so it is possible for zoo animals to escape, risking the lives of the people visiting the zoos and their own. It has happened on multiple occasions and usually ends in blood, since most zoos shoot the animals that escape rather than tranquilizing them. This is relevant since zoos are supposed to be protecting the animals in their care, along with the people visiting. And when they put the animals on display in front of large crowds, there is a larger risk for them getting out and hurting people. One story of an animal that got out of its enclosure is that of Tatiana, the Siberian tiger of the San Francisco Zoo. On Christmas Day in 2007, a group of young men started to roar and throw rocks at Tatiana. This angered her, so she leapt out of her enclosure, which was 4 feet shorter than the mandated height, and mauled them, resulting in one of their deaths. She was then shot by the police officers. This story is especially sad since no one stopped the people that were taunting the wild animal. And the zoo put her in an insufficient enclosure that allowed her to get out, ultimately resulting in her untimely death at 4 years old. For reference, Siberian tigers can live up to 18 years. Another story of an inadequate enclosure that resulted in the death of a zoo animal that you may have heard of is Harambe, the western lowland gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo, who was shot and killed after a 4-year-old boy fell into his enclosure. This is yet another unfortunate story of human error that resulted in an animal's death, since when building the gorilla enclosure, it was given insufficient barriers, allowing the boy to fall through. Some zoos will even kill animals that didn't do anything wrong except being born with certain genes. One of these times was at the Copenhagen Zoo killed Marius the giraffe. According to the article, Marius the giraffe killed at Copenhagen Zoo despite worldwide protests from The Guardian. The death of Marius, an 18-month-old giraffe considered useless for breeding because his genes were too common, was followed by his dissection in front of a large crowd, including fascinated-looking children. In conclusion, I think that zoos should be banned since many have proven time and time again that they are inadequate in keeping the animals and visitors safe. Thank you.
What about all the zoos that follow the standards and have good sufficient environments for animals? Why should they get banned too? What about all the valuable research that can be learned from the animals?
Maybe you can consult your notes if your mind is going blank.
What about all the jobs that the zoos provide?
There's other jobs.
Thank you. That's it.
Are you ready for negative construction?
Zoos should not be banned. Zoos play a vital role in our economy, providing jobs for people in our communities. Zoos also do many good things like saving animals. Zoos provide educational value. Zoos provide education by showing visitors about animal behaviors, ecology, and conservation of habitats. Spiegel Club says that zoos provide valuable educational experiences for visitors, particularly for children, by teaching them about animal behavior, ecology, and conservation. Zoos can help children learn about animals, where they live, how they behave, and how to help their environment. Zoos can help with scientific research about animals. Zoos give scientists a chance to study animals and understand their behavioral traits. because they are in controlled environments. SPICO Club states that zoos can facilitate research and conservation efforts by proving opportunities for observation and study of animals in controlled environments. Zoos provide great environments for scientists to study animals, and that can help us learn more about their behaviors and habitats. Zoos have a positive environmental impact. Zoos can generate revenue and provide jobs for people to work in that community. SPICO Club says that zoos have significant economic impacts, generating revenue and providing jobs in local communities. Zoos provide income and give jobs for many people and communities. Zoos help conserve and save endangered species. Some zoos participate in breeding programs for endangered animals. SPICO says that some zoos play an important role in breeding programs for endangered species, and banning zoos could threaten these efforts and the survival of these species. Zoos provide suitable environments for animals. Some zoos have suitable environments for animals with health problems, such as mutilated body parts. Those animals cannot survive out in the wild. They are not physically able. Zoos take in these sorts of animals and help them grow up in safe environments. PlanetSpark.com says that zoos offer suitable habitats for animals that may not survive in the wild. If we ban zoos, there will be no one to tend to these poor and hurt animals. The wild is very competitive and they cannot survive. In conclusion, zoos provide a positive impact on the economy and care of injured animals. Without zoos, many species such as the black-footed parrots, the red wolves, Przewalski's wild horse, and the California condor would be extinct. An example of the two zoos that helped the California condors were the San Diego Zoo and the Los Angeles Zoo. They worked together to bring the California condor population up from a few dozen to about 170. Thank you.
Olivia, are you ready to begin cross-examination?
Yeah. Do you believe that zoos educate the public enough to justify keeping animals captive?
Yes. When I went to zoos a lot, I learned a lot about animals. And from our view, it looks like they have a nice, suitable environment. They have trees everywhere, and especially the gorilla habitat was absolutely huge.
Why not study the animals in the wild? Why should we contain them?
Because it's more dangerous to study them in the wild. When they're in a contained environment, we can take tests and do a lot of stuff that we weren't able to do in the environment because they have packs and they can defend themselves from our studies. Stop our studies, basically.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah. Thank you.
In total, zoos should not be banned. Zoos help a lot of animals that are hurt or endangered come back, like California condors. Zoos provide sufficient information, tours, and many other things to teach us about animals. Also, tests run on animals are easier to do here in zoos than in the wild, because animals can retaliate and hurt our scientists. Zoos also generate a lot of income, which helps the economy and communities around. We don't have to ban zoos, just make the ones that aren't good update their policies and areas to better the animals' health. If zoos update that, they will be able to teach us a lot about animals, do a lot of scientific research, all while keeping the animals safe and well taken care of. Thank you.
Olivia, are you ready for affirmative report?
I still believe that zoos should be banned. For one, the endangered species that they are trying to help become even less genetically diverse since a lot of them are taken and put into zoos. This is in turn counteracting the work that they are putting into bringing the species back, since the population that they took it from will continue to weaken, since now there are even fewer of that species in the wild. Also, it would most likely be beneficial to study animals for science or just observe them for fun in the wild from afar, since we would get to see how they act when we aren't around. For example, if you wanted to see a dolphin perform tricks, you should go out and see them in the wild rather than watching them perform at a show at SeaWorld. Thank you.
the affirmative and the negative, stand and acknowledge the judge.